helped himself to the basement and took over $215,000 worth of cards.
Whoa.
Like, we're talking about like Pokemon cards. He really wanted to take my life.
Guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Doshi, and today we are here at Pop Century Collectibles, and I'm here with the owner, Laz.
Yes.
Brother, thank you for being on the channel.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
So we are gonna ask Laz a little bit about his business. He has some stories to tell us in terms of the collecting scene. He prioritizes in cards, trading cards, Pokemon cards, things like that in that realm. And also a little bit of everything based off of what I could see in the store.
Yep.
So Laz, tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so we've been open for a little bit over 3 years. We started with mostly cards, wax, and I ended up buying out my partners. I bought out one partner first, and I just finished buying out another partner, and kind of went with my vision, which is like a little bit of everything, a little bit of pop culture, a little bit of Pokemon, sports, art, autographs. We have jewelry. We have toys, from like wrestling toys, Funko Pops, cars, pretty much like plush video games. I mean, jerseys. We try to carry everything. That's like, that's like basically like
anything
everything.
Collectible, memorabilia, stuff like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
And what made you want to get into this business?
Well, I started as a collector like at eight years old. I started collecting baseball cards, and I'm 45 now, so
almost 40 years later, yeah. You're still doing what you love.
Still doing what I love, yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
And what kind of audience are you trying to reach in terms of bringing to the store, right? Are you trying to look for card players, collectors, especially, like specifically, like what do you cater most to?
Honestly, like we cater to everybody, because like we're here to sell, but we're mostly here to buy, and we want to buy anything collectible, whether it's antiques, art, cards, autographs, everything. So like we really like when we advertise at pretty much anybody, like right. So like if we do Instagram ads, we'll target a certain age. If we do like paper ads, local ads, we'll target a different age, then pretty much like all ages, in both men and women. So
Understandable. And what's your best selling product in here in terms of like cards? Because I see tables and display cases of slabs and stuff like that. What do people look for most when they come in here?
Pokemon and sports. Sports cards and Pokemon cards, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, right, because you are the first like card shop owner, right, in terms of like the sports and everything else.
Yes.
Pokemon. How was that prismatic evolutions like whole scene going on when that first dropped? Like, did it have any effect on you? Did you try to get the cards yourself but couldn't? Like, how did that go up?
First, we got from our distributor.
Okay.
That went like that, and then we had to buy it secondhand, or people just bringing it in, going to like different locations. Like people would reach out to us, like, because we advertised to buy, and like we have a few boxes, but we can't keep it. Like, no matter how much we have, it flies.
Gone.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about the community like going as aggressive as they did when it first dropped? Like scalpers, like how do you feel about people like that?
Hey, you know what? Like, I'm not gonna knock a hustle. Like, if they want to make their money that way, that's fine. Like, if you're a collector, buy, put it away. If you want to flip it, and that's the way you make your money, that's fine. Bring it, I'll buy it from you at a premium. Like, that's fine. I'm okay with everybody.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that hate the scalpers, but also there's also us who understand the hustle. So you have to go out and get that. Of course, there's, those limitations in terms of like, people are like literally fighting each other for that stuff, which is insane.
That's a little bit over the top, but everything else it's cool. I see guys camping out like a couple hours, like 5-10 hours before the store opens, and that's what they love to do. So God bless.
It's pretty wild. And sports cards don't get that much attention, right? Like compared to Pokemon.
No.
People would never fight for like a new sports card pack, stuff like that.
They did like during the pandemic for like 6 months, a year, whatever that lasted. But Poke's like
always
solid,
number one.
Solid number one. Yes, anytime. Absolutely.
so your store, right? Looking at it, what caught me like off guard the most is the jewelry. Why jewelry compared to, you know, whatever else you're selling? Also the paintings as well. That's a little like out of the box to me personally.
Well, like some of the paintings that we have, like this is a set right here, and this is a French painter, and we have these, I believe, at 2,500 for the set.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is a famous painter, and somebody brings it in, and
Right.
you know, I have a market for it. I'm gonna buy it because we do have people that come in for paintings. You know, we sold a Peter Max not that long ago, and that went for 6,500. There's another Peter Max up there. That's flower, and like you see, like somebody's just bringing in stuff right now. You know, so this is every day, 24/7. People are just bringing stuff in. Jewelry. This is more my girlfriend, so I give her a little space.
That's cool.
But yeah, but we buy jewelry, and she has her people that come to buy it, and God bless, you know, like it's another avenue. You know, people bring in watches, they bring in gold, and I'll call my gold guy and make sure it's legit. You know, engagement rings, like pretty much like we're buying everything. Like there's nothing like, you know, we last year bought a car, 2 cars we bought. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, an Alfa Romero, and I forget what the other one was. Older car. And the guy that we bought the 2, hey, how's it going, brother? Yeah, do your thing. No, it's good. You're good. You're good. The guy that we bought the cars from, we actually went there to buy a Pokemon box, Japanese box, which was like the first one. And he's like, I was just like, well, what do you want for the cars? And he's just like, well, let's make a deal. Then we just ended up buying 2 cars and the box, which it's crazy if you think about it, you know?
That's
we almost
wild.
bought his boat, which he wanted, but his wife was just like, you got to get it out. But like, where were we going to put it? We didn't know where to put it, but we were thinking about buying his boat. Yeah.
That's some Pawn Stars level stuff.
That's the direction I like, you know, but you know, I want to keep it like Pokemon, but you know,
Right.
and sports cards and comics and toys. But if those deals come in and the price is right, I can't turn them down. I can't.
Of course, as long as you can make that flip, right?
Right. Yep.
I wanted to ask, which display case has like your most expensive slabs in it? Like, I would like to check those out if you don't mind showing the camera.
We have, yeah, absolutely. We have a few. I try not to keep anything expensive. If somebody wants something the customer wants, absolutely. I'll take it out of the safe, or I'll find a way to get it here. I don't want to keep high-end product in here, but I mean, this is like 1.1K, 3.4K, 650, and we have like other cards. You know, if they are interested in something else, there's
like a vault and stuff like that, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Gotcha. You do an inquiry and you'll see if you have it.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Do you get your cards graded? Do you open up packs yourself, or is all of this straight trading, or you know, collection purchasing?
Collection purchasing. Yeah.
So you don't grade your own stuff.
We have graded, you know, but it's not something that really like, I don't have the eye for it. So
you naturally just get your stuff slabbed.
Yeah. Unless like somebody tells me like, you got to grade this, you know, then I do it, you know.
And do you what creates a high value for a sports card, for example? Like, is it the
supply and demand?
Supply and demand. So
yeah,
it has nothing to do with the year. It has nothing to do with the.
It does, because if you have an expensive product and it wasn't produced a lot, and it's gonna, you know, and the player's playing well and he's winning, it's gonna, you know, drive the market. Mahomes, you know, Wemby. There's a lot of guys, you know, Paul Skeens from baseball. So there's guys that are going to drive the market. And if the cards are doing good, the boxes go up. And if certain cards haven't been pulled out of the boxes, they go up. So there's a lot of variables that'll bring the product up.
And a question for me, right? Because I deal with video games. I'm not really the card guy.
Mm-hmm.
Pokemon cards you can play with. but why are sports cards valuable? Like, because you can't play. They have stats in the back. I know that uh, famous players, you know,
Right.
all-time greats.
Right.
But why do people really seek out sports cards if they can't really play with them?
Well, sports cards are like really like the start of the start. Like besides like prints and stuff like that, I'll show you guys later. Like cards from the 1800s, tobacco cards, Gaudis, T206s, all vintage baseball cards. But now, like in the 80s, they flooded the market with paper cards. It's called the junk wax era. Now there's cards with parallels. They're numbered cards, autograph cards, game used patches. There's a lot of variables. There's a lot of things that want to make the collector collect. And, you know, it's like trading, you know, like if the card goes up and you know, you paid, I don't know, $100 and, you know, like 2 or 3 months, it's worth 200. You just made yourself $100. You sell it, you know,
Correct.
and it's profit.
And since I deal with video games, would you consider? And I see that you do have a couple of games there, right? I'm
Yeah.
Sure. They're not frequently as brought in as cards, of course.
Well, I have a guy who buys it. So like,
Okay.
you know, what we buy, like I try to like, I don't want to keep a lot of stock. So like I have different like
Which is
ways.
smart. You have different avenues to just get rid of stuff immediately. Okay.
We just sold a Nintendo watch graded 8.5, which was the highest grade for that Nintendo watch, the Mario Kart one, and we sold it for $3,000.
Wow.
The guy that sold it from me, I gave him $500, so we took in $2,500 for it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That is wild.
Yep.
So, but cards are like more commonly like brought in, right? Like,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
they're more easily accessible to find out there, right? Compared to
Yes.
games.
Yeah, and they flip faster than anything. Like we have toys, they may sit for like a couple months. You know, we have autographs that may sit, statues that may sit, but cards, they're flipping. They're going fast. Like they're not like this showcase, and a month, half of it will be gone.
And I know that you host a lot of card shows, right? A lot of collectible shows more so, right? 'Cause
Right.
I vended at a few.
Right.
Funko Pops, mainly cards, some video game vendors. You're continuing to expand on those shows.
Yes.
Why do you think there are more collectible card shows out there than any other, commonly known?
There's more card shows now than I've ever seen in my life. There's like 2 or 3 in Jersey, especially. Like there's like 2 or 3, 4 or 5 every week. Because there's a demand for it. People have stuff to sell. And you know what? Like the true collector is really gone. Like the guy who just says, I'm gonna buy this and put this away. You don't see that as much. Like right now, everybody's like, they wanna buy, they wanna sell, you know, they may keep a couple cards for their collection, but it's really like, it's like trading. Like that's what they wanna do, keep trading up. Like this gentleman's here, he's here to sell. I'm sure he's gonna buy something later on.
My actual goal is I'm a personal collector. I got into this a few years ago actually at this store, and last was amazing. I got into it at this store, and my collection, if you want to look in here, has grown so much. Like some of these cards are like very rare. I actually recently pulled a Brock Bowers football emoji. You asked like what makes it desirable. There's only one other these in the world graded by PSA and a 10. I have one and somebody else, and that's it. That's all that exists right now. So like, obviously I'm not selling this today. This is like a long hold. Like he said, like certain guys will hold. So if he's the next Colin Gonzalez, Gronkowski, it could easily be a $4,000 card 15 years from now.
You never
that
know,
I got
right?
in a card break for $20 and got graded for 30. So I spent $57 on this. So like that's why I do it. I'm here today because I want to get out of baseball. Like these are my baseball ones, and I'm hoping with the football and the LA jersey and all of that, I'm hoping to walk away with enough to buy a sealed case of Mega. Me and Laz gotta talk about that because I'm hunting downtown and I'm hunting Jay and Daniels downtown, Bo Nix downtown, and Brock Bowers, which are guaranteed in a sealed case. That's why it's so important to me these days to get a sealed case because then I know I can walk away with a profit if it's done the right way.
So for you, it's more of an investment than okay, got
Sorry,
it.
I'm a lip it. I'm gross. Apologies.
Yeah.
But no, like yeah, like I started like and like people ask me like how you know you made money. You're like this and that and another thing. You're like, oh, it's a waste. I'm like, it's absolutely not a waste of money. Like one of the prime examples is I bought a $10 loose pack, pulled a Caleb Williams downtown, got graded back, wasn't happy with the grade. The guy helped me crack it at a different place. He gave me, in return for the Caleb Williams I got a $10 pack, I got 16 sealed blasters in return for a card that I got out of a $10 pack. So when people ask me if I'm up or if I'm profiting, I literally turn $10 into 16 boxes. And then on top of those 16 boxes, he knows how it's worth. I pulled a Jaden Daniels preview silver optic out of those 16 boxes. That one card alone in a PSA 10 is what, close to 1,000 at this point.
And that's what changed the game. When you said like what made the cards, the grading system. Like once they started grading cards and there's like an 8, a 9, and a 10, and that changes the value rather than it being like, you know, which is subjective. If I think it's a 9 or another dealer thinks it's a 10, no, now we have PSA, we have Beckett, we have SGC, that they're the professionals that tell us what the grade is.
Right.
So there's a lot more skin in the game, you know, like you said, you pull a card, it comes at 10, that card it went from a $100 card probably to like a $300 card, $250 card.
Even crazier.
Yep.
I pulled a Hertz optic 2 out of a $60 box, came back in PSA 10, it's close to $1,000. So for $60 for me plus grading. So I spent $135. Again, not gonna sell yet, not sure. But if I did, I could sell it probably for close to $1,000. So that's a $900 profit for doing nothing other than buying a box of cards and opening it.
That's
and
crazy.
praying when they grade it. Yeah, it's easy money. It's like I tell people it's like the stock market.
Yep.
Literally, like I say, Mahomes is Amazon and like LeBron's Tesla, but then there's all these other started companies that if you get it early enough, you can make a nice amount of money.
Absolutely.
I'm sure grading really changed the game, right?
Totally. That's like, you know, like back like in I think it was like 91, whenever it was early, like, and I remember a local card store I used to go to, and, you know, grading was just starting out, and he's just like, this is going to change the game. He's just like, grade everything. And I didn't listen to him for like the first like few years, and then I started seeing, and I was just like, you know what? Forget everything else raw. I'm buying graded cards, and that's like, you know, I was able to buy like my first house thanks to graded cards.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Some paper and some plastic with the number on it.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What would you say was like your greatest purchase of all time for those who want to know? Like, what's the most expensive card you ever sold? Like, I'm sure cards have a wonderful profit margin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, because you'll never just get one card at a time. You always get them in bulk.
Right. Well, it wasn't my card. It was a consignment card. Like somebody gave me the card to sell for him. It was a Mickey Mantle,
Okay.
52 tops, and that went for $108,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Auction or
No, to a collector.
that's crazy.
That, you know, he bought it, he put it away. That's a collector. That's not somebody who's looking to flip it, because when you're buying product like that, there's not going to be a lot of room, you know, to flip it, because that's the market, that's the value, that's what they want. You know, if it's $110,000, you may get it for $105,000. Meanwhile, you're buying a modern card that's, say it's $1,000, they may take $700, $650. You're not going to get that with a vintage card like that, because that's like an iconic card.
And do you think like I remember this thing where I think Logan Paul bought a $250,000 Charizard. Do you think
Yes.
those prices are justifiable to pay $250,000 for a card?
Hey, like, you know, if there's somebody out there that wants to buy it, you know, that's the price. You know, like who am I to say that card's not worth $250 if somebody's out there willing to spend $250? That's, you know, that's the market. That's the value. And I'm sure, like, if you look at like there's two O-Pee-Chee Wayne Gretzky rookies. One of the guys that owns it is never going to sell it. The other guy is Pat David. He's like an influencer, does a lot of things, and he put an offer, I believe, of $2 or $3 million, and the other person that owns it doesn't want to sell it. Is the card really worth $2 or $3 million? No, but there's people that have the money, that want the card, that are willing to overpay for the card. So that's the value, and that's what keeps driving it up. People that have money, want the card, can't get it. There's only two of them out there. You know, if you're a billionaire, what's like a couple million to you? Nothing. You know, you're gonna get it.
I can never understand that. That's wild.
It's the way. It's wild. Yeah, absolutely.
I always say, if you're rich, you can buy a Lamborghini, you can buy a Ferrari, but there's only so many Mickey Mantles. So like, what's money? Like, you want to say you have that mantle. Like, anyone that's rich can buy a Lamborghini, but not anybody can have a Mickey Mantle 52 tops. That's the whole allure too. To like people that are that kind of money.
Right. Yeah, you wanna flex that limited card.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I recently found out that went through something. What was it, 2 weeks ago? Would you say it was 2 weeks ago?
Yes, it was like a little bit more, but yeah, absolutely.
And like the world of cards, trading, anything with money, right? There can be a lot of problems along the way, right?
100%.
Would you like to share the audience the story that happened a few weeks ago?
Right. Well, somebody came in and, we gave him a very fair price for his cards. He wasn't happy, so he came back. We gave him an extra like 5 to 10%. And then he came back again, like a couple days later, asking for more money. And we're like, no, that was the deal. Some of the cards have been sold. Some of the packs have been sold. And he's just like, well, I think they're worth more than what you offered me. And I'm like, well, you're looking at what somebody's asking for the price.
Okay.
And to what something really sells for. And if it goes by what it sells for, not what people are asking.
Correct.
That's like what a lot of people don't understand. And that's like the main thing that we have to explain to them. So he comes in on a Monday. I tell him like he's a little wild. He's there with his sister and somebody else. And, I asked him to leave and I called the cops. They were trespassing at that point. The next day, he's camping out outside. I wasn't here. My workers saw something that looked like a weapon. They left. They went out the back door, locked the front door because he was out there camping out. And he threatened me that he was going to be out there every day until he was happy. And, it was a weapon. 100% it was a weapon. The cops came. They did what they had to do. I looked at the cameras. He was out there 2.5 hours before, like walking around, and, like we're talking about like Pokemon cards and like
Right.
he really wanted to take my life. That's what he came here for. Like you don't come to somebody's place, So when the cops were here and like I said, get him in here. I want to talk to him. He was a little bit off. So I said, what is going to make this go away? And he wanted a price. At that point, I was paying pretty much double of what the product is worth. But at like my safety, my workers' safety, my customer's safety is priceless. So I paid him. I said, get out, never come back again. Haven't heard from him since.
That's crazy. And
Mhm.
does that like, would you say that's like a little discouraging to continue doing business? You know what I mean? When you do get those kind of like, do you question yourself like, is this kind of nonsense, like the potential risk of my life being threatened, like is worth it? Or like, how do you think about that?
Well, and like when you're dealing with like money, like anything can happen, like people, it's like, it's the root of all evil, but it's only happened once. 8 months ago, I was in the hospital for a few weeks. I had a congestive heart failure, a couple other things, and a customer of mine who came here frequently and spent a couple $1,000 helped himself to the basement and took over $215,000 worth of cards.
Whoa.
Yeah. And he did it in a span of 3 times. He actually went to the hospital to visit me. Spoke with the nurses, spoke with the doctors, found out that pretty much I was on my deathbed. Helped himself downstairs, would come in, buy stuff, would go to his car, drop stuff off, come back in. He did his thing. I wasn't here. I was in the hospital. That Saturday, I get out Friday. That Saturday, I'm here. He walks in. He's surprised to see me. So he's like, I'm going to keep going downstairs and looking through things. And he'd come, get his box, bring it up, and we'd price him out. So I decided to look at the camera, like while he's down there, I'm like, and I see him stuffing his pockets. So I go down, I was just like walked around, make believe I was on the phone. And I'm like, why do you have cards in your pocket? And, the cops came. Again, everything was filmed. And like, he's going to go to jail for a long time, He's probably looking at 1 to 3 years. And, I knew him for 30 years. But,
Wow.
yeah.
That's insane, bro. That's
That set us back. That hurt. Because
and,
it was consignment. It wasn't our product. It was guys that gave me cards to sell for them.
and that person never returned the cards. There was no way to find them. He just kept them hidden.
I heard he was fencing them in PA. And the graded cards that he took, they weren't numbered. They were vintage cards. So I heard he was cracking them out of the PSA slabs and selling them raw. I called him up and we couldn't talk. And I said, listen, return the cards and I'll drop everything. At that point, like due to the amount, it became state. And he said no. So I spoke to his best friend and I said, get me the cards or the cash and we can work this out. He wouldn't do neither of, so.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
And that sucks because, you know, like no one understands you are an independent small business in the end.
Absolutely.
And to lose almost $250,000.
Yeah, it's a lot. It hurt us. It set us back. Like now, like January is like, now we're getting a lot more product and stuff like that. But for 8 months, it was whatever we made, we had to pay people back. Whatever we made, we had to pay the guys back. Whatever we made. So it really didn't give us a chance to like expand and grow. But now, like I told my workers, I'm like, we're growing. And now we're like full throttle, you know.
Yeah,
so we're going.
You have to make that back as soon as possible.
Everybody's taken care of, you know. And it's just like my partners are bought out. Everybody's paid off. And now it's, you know, the business is going to grow so fast that a year from now, you're going to come back and you're going to see this place different. Like,
do you plan on expanding to like multiple stores? Oh, you're going to get the next door.
Next door over, yep. I'm going to carry apparel. What we're going to do over there is there's like 5 stations. It's like half the size of this, but there's 5 stations. It used to be a tanning booth, tanning salon. So there's different rooms. So we're going to rent out to different designers, different brands, and they're going to put their clothes in there. And we're going to sell it for them, whether it's online, you know, retail, brick and mortar, whatever. And they're going to give us a commission and they're going to pay rent. And that's going to help this and that's going to help that. And it's going to work together.
Okay. And where do you see yourself, like, let's just theoretically, like 5-10 years from now? Like, what is your like goal? Like, when
keep
it comes
doing
to
this.
collecting?
I mean, I've been doing it for like 30 something years. I'm not going anywhere. This is what I love to do. Like, this is what I'm going to do. Like 5-10 years from now, like hopefully like go in a different area, but like this is going to stay. We're not leaving this, you know. I like other areas, you know, and I have a couple guys that I've been talking to them about, like, look, like we like this city and I've been scouting this city out. I've been looking for locations and I'm going to send one of my guys out there and they're going to run that store. And, you know, maybe it won't be Pop Century 2, but it's going to be something, you know,
Right.
collectible related, you know.
Gotcha. Earlier you said you wanted to show us something around this side.
Yeah, like this
you
is like
mentioned
different
something?
things that we have. Like this is special right here. This is from 17, I believe, like 98. We have it for 46. You know, it's sold as high as 15,000.
Wow.
This is a painting. The Addams family, that's the house that they used. And the guy who created the Addams family lived across the street and he painted this. So there's history behind this. Like, you don't see this. This isn't like stuff like you're gonna pull out of a pack.
Yeah.
You know, we have vintage Mickey Mantle autographs. What else like we have that's different? That Peter Max piece, like you don't see stuff like that. You see that over there with the flowers, the girl over there?
Yeah.
Like, that's art. That's original art.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
I
movie
wouldn't-
posters. We just sold a couple movie posters. So like
Right.
we branch everywhere. Like that's why we're like called Pop Century, because anything pop culture related, that's where we want to be in, you know.
And would you consider yourself, like, your store a lot more different than other collector stores?
There's no other store that I know like this. Like, if you think about it, like some guys will just do baseball cards, they'll just do comics, they'll do toys, whatever. No, we're everything. Just like the shows, you know, Collectors Marketplace is everything. Garden State is strictly cards, you know, sports and TCG, but Collectors Marketplace, you're gonna see everything, and that's pretty much what we're about.
That's pretty dope. And
Yeah.
do you sell online, or
We do.
only usually like typically the more expensive stuff, I'd say?
Well,
Or-
now that, you know, I'm the only owner, like what we're doing is we're creating the website. So, but like the cards move so fast, you know, but the paintings, the artwork, the posters, the autographs, that is going to go on the website so people can see that we're buying that. But they see what we sell. You know, even if we don't sell it, but I want it in the store so they see it, and if they have it, they're going to bring it again because our main business is buying.
Right.
You know, I have ways to funnel out the product. I want to buy. I'm here every day to buy.
And
That's what I want.
You have a large following on social media. There's a lot of boys, like 12,000 followers on Instagram.
Right.
It's a lot of people. And I do see you post all the time that you are always buying collections and things like that, right?
Yes, yes.
How far are you willing to travel to get a collection?
That's the furthest I've been to Seattle.
Damn.
Yeah. I've been to Cali a few times, but Seattle, like all the way up there is. And then like on the East Coast, like Maine, like we were driving and like it was all like French Canadian stations, you know, like you could see like the restaurant that we went to, this guy's Big Ricky's restaurant, and we bought his collection out, and like you could throw a rock and you could hit Canada. So that's how far we were out there, and it's fun. I love it, man. Like you don't know who you're gonna meet, like you don't know whose house you're gonna go to, you don't know what they're gonna have. I love it. I wouldn't change this job for anything in the world.
That's how I feel about the games too, because you're always going to travel some other place, right? You never know you're going to find. So it's a huge treasure hunt.
Yep.
So it's unpredictable.
Yep, absolutely.
And you can score big time if, you know, the prices are right.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's always the thrill of it.
Mm-hmm.
Last final question for the audience.
Sure.
Where can they find you? What social media handling?
Laz NYC, Garden State Trading Card Show, Pop Century Collectibles. That's on IG, Facebook. That's where they can find me, pretty much. Yeah.
Address of the store?
20 Elm Street, Oakland, New Jersey. Telephone number is 201-527-8332.
And you heard him. He's buying practically anything. So stop by, work the deal with this man right here, and he will give you a very generous offer. Also, go to his shows. His shows are pretty dope. They're always packed. Tons of different vendors. I'll be there May 26th.
24th. Yeah,
24th.
Memorial Day weekend. Yep.
So check out Laz, my brother. Thanks for being on the channel.
Thank you, brother.
And thanks for sharing everything.
You got it. Thanks. God bless. Thank you.
And guys, there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Today's video is a little different with the trading, collectibles, stuff like that. But nonetheless, we'd love to expand on small businesses and shine some light on the reality of how it is. So nonetheless, like Nostalgia Doshi, I'll catch you all later.